Okay, so episode 10. 3 episodes to go after this. And episode 10, good and bad. Surprise, surprise, I actually enjoyed the episode. Mostly with only one section of it actually pissing me off because I just didn't like the idea that came out of it. But, just one little mention, you're practically just going to get 10 minutes of animation. I know that the times are random, but when we've had like 16 minutes, 18 minutes, 23 minutes, you're counting down to a finale. We only got 4 episodes to go. Kind of expected more than 10 minutes. I mean, but what can you do? Also, I don't know if they're exaggerating there, but is that kid's semblance? Is he, like, can he scream really loud? Or is this just over-exaggeration? And, yeah, I'm not a fan of these two dipshits. Ironically, everything I didn't like about the episode is actually the Atlas base in Argus. Everything that happens here just is infuriating. The plan that Team Rwby, Jean and all that came up with, I actually thought is a great plan. And obviously they're not going to have a sit-down episode where they talk about the plan, because then if we know the plan, none of this is exciting. So I understand why they've done that. I actually enjoy this scene. I love Terracotta's reaction, and the fact that Terracotta's not actually part of the plan to hide her involvement suggests that she's not gonna die, which was my actual prediction. I just thought she did. However, it did make one thing predictable. The one thing that's been going through my mind the whole time is, why show Adam in the opening unless he's gonna take part in this? And then, you know, with RTX, they let shit slip. They're like, oh, you're gonna see lots of Adam this volume. And the fact that we haven't seen him all fucking volume basically was just screaming, Blake's gone off on her own, Adam's gonna show up. Like, the moment she went off, in my head I'm just like, Adam's gonna show up. And I'm actually hyped for it because, although I think, much like the Pyrenikos scene, this fight between Blake and potentially Yang with Adam, it's taken its sweet ass time getting here. Like, this should have been shit that was handled in Volume 5, and they've just... Volume 6 is the fixer-upper episode, but, fixer-upper volume. They're trying to fix what mistakes they made. Treachery. Fucking hell. Also, this was weird. This scene is like, just because you were the legendary Grim Reaper doesn't mean you can fly a plane. Just because you're a huntsman or huntress doesn't mean you can fly a plane. And the funny thing is, Weiss actually airs my concerns right here in this voice. What she says here. It's like Rwby actually thought of what the fans are gonna complain back. We were gonna say, oh yeah, didn't you say you're going to Argus to get your eyes fixed? Isn't that the reason you were on the train? Go in there, and you haven't got them fixed, and yet now they're fully functional when you need to fly a plane? It's kind of a weird thing to put in. It's like you're fully aware that you're doing something wrong. As people know, I'm not the biggest fan of Rwby. Even still, to now. I reckon last episode, what she said to Crow then was pretty much just what she said to Raven. And I hated the Raven thing. I was laughing my ass off when she got hit by the fireball. However, what she says to Crow this episode, I think the dialogue came out better. When they wrote this episode, what Rwby says, it was written much better. At the same time, I can make the argument, why doesn't Crow bring up, you know, Summer is supposed to be dead. Why doesn't he bring up Ty? You know, you can question those things. If Crow just doesn't fight back, because Rwby is made to look strong, it's like the person she's having the argument conversation with, never fights back. But she did deliver it better. She said, oh, we need Crow Bronwyn. I like that. This was something I was enjoying. I mean, I didn't like the fact that Maria's flying and everything, as I point, like when Weiss points it out. But like, it was like, this was a really dumb part of the plan, having Maria fly it, and then not realize that although you're talking into it, there's a speaker as well. But we're not going to go into that. And this was just dumb. I don't know. Maria's character, I just don't like. I know people like her humour and her quick wit. I can get behind that. We still don't know why the fuck she got off the train with Team Rwby. Why? Like, she was on the train to go to Argus to get her eyes fixed, and for some reason she decided to head off with these assholes. The only other thing is, although they say we need the Crow Bronwyn, his semblance, like, regardless, whenever you think of Crow, the reason Ozpin used him on single missions, why he always went out alone, is his semblance, is a liability. But then again, Ozpin sent him to follow the Spring Maiden. That didn't work out too well. So, yeah, you want Crow there, but at the same time, you could technically blame everything that goes wrong on him. So, but then, is his semblance really active if his aura is not active? Not something that will never be explained by the show. But essentially, at least Ruby's got better dialogue in this scene. I'll give that. I can get behind this conversation. Where we go now? Yeah, this, if it was the one thing in the whole episode that actually I did not agree with, I did not like, up till now, it's been like 50-50, or I've liked it. This is essentially what actually pissed me off, because this is just stupid. This is stupidity and dumbness. This is Rooster Teeth CEOs telling them, you don't need a plane scene that's really rapid with planes flying around shooting at each other that requires lots of animation. You got a slow-ass mech, and guess what? It symbolizes Genlock. Oh. This is dumb. This makes her look batshit crazy. It's like, really? She's willing to go that far for one plane with the heiress on board? Oh, well, it's treachery, so we're gonna kill you now. Like, I get that she might want her dead, but even if that's treachery, you're killing the fucking daughter of the richest person in Atlas. Oh, not the smartest decision. But hey, Genlock. And I'm not hyped for Genlock. I don't give a shit about Genlock. I just think, like, this is stupid. This is utter stupid. And the fact that was an artificial mountain. The mountain literally just fucking opened up and this thing walked out. It's weird. Would have preferred an aerial battle much like the Lancers with Weiss in episode 2 of the last volume. That was awesome. I would have preferred fight all the ships to take off and pursue her. At least I predicted this. Oh, and look, Wait. This is dumb, right? In the thing, he drops the mask. Earlier in the volume, he's got the mask. And now he's got the cloth. I actually like the cloth, but, consistency. We get actual fighting, some good fighting. You see, that's when the dialogue for Adam's really bad. I mean, look, I guess he's supposed to be emotional and that, but he sent people after her. looks like he's got a bit of a haircut. Or maybe it's just because the mask is missing. Okay. Nothing, but even if their auras are active, which we never see their auras activate, a fall like that through multiple trees, multiple branches, and then landing, and not landing on your feet, even though you're a fucking cat lake. Pretty sure they wouldn't have an aura after that. I like this line. Oh, bitch. I let you go before. That bit me in the ass. I'm gonna fucking kill you this time. I like that. If I have any concern going forward, although I'm actually hyped for that fight, I'm gonna I hope they put more effort than just a 2-minute fight. Like, you know, where we got the maiden versus maiden fight, went for roughly about 5 minutes. I'm hoping we get that with Yang, Blake, and Adam. Something similar to the Roman, Torchwick versus Sun and Blake in the first volume. I want something like that, but like longer, so it actually, because they need to pay off this fight properly. My only thing going forward is we've been told semblances evolve over time, right? And grow and shit. Hang on, let me pause this shit. And I'm only gonna make this quick. Won't go too much into shit. Is Yang and Adam have the very similar, I don't know why. What the fuck is going on? I don't care. I'm actually gonna close that. There. Have the most common semblances in the show. And when you debate the science between Yang and Adam's semblance, what it can effectively do if you break it down to the main principle. At first I thought with Yang it's physical damage that she's absorbing because it's mainly punches and kicks that she takes. But she can essentially, if a bullet gets shot at her and impacts her and it bounces off or something, the impact that it makes is like kinetic type impact damage, and she can absorb that as well and rechannel it. So it can be ranged as well. And the thing that goes through my head with that, right, is if it's a bullet being shot at her, then essentially it would be like a physical force damage, which she should be able to absorb. And we'll leave it at that. Adam, on the other hand, is more like an elemental, pure energy type of absorption. And what I mean in that is when I watch Rwby, for me, electricity doesn't exist in technicality. I don't see wind turbines, I don't see a nuclear power plant. Everything in this show is dust. The principle of the show is dust. So even when you see lights go on and shit, something tells me if there's a type of power plant, it's running on a shit ton of lightning dust. And it's processing it, which creates the electricity, like lights in the houses. Either that or they're just installing like friggin' lightning dust crystals in the fucking roof or something. That's my train of thought. So when it comes to like lasers and that type of shit, like high pitched, could be like a fire and lightning dust crystal firing a laser. Essentially, Adam is not absorbing energy per se, but processed dust. And so he's dust absorption. He's literally dust absorption with the blade. And since we've seen him early on be able to open the blade, absorb, close, and then rechannel in the slice, it would have been really odd to see how he learned of his semblance. Did he just try to block something with a blade and miraculously absorb it and rechannel it? Has he always done it with a blade? And the reason I bring this up is with Yang, is she really firing shotgun shells, or is she firing, because they look like explosive blasts, is it fire dust in explosive form that she's firing? Because I'm thinking Adam can absorb that easily. He's technically been able to absorb Blake's shots in Volume 3 when she shot at him. He absorbed that. And that was supposedly just bullets. It's very weird. The show's inconsistent with just what... Because Rwby needs to release an encyclopedia that detailedly explains everyone's semblance, how it functions, so the people at home watching it. Because essentially, Yang and Adams are supposed to be the same, yet absorb different types of damage. But the more and more you look at it, like I said with Adams, it should be dust absorption. But if he's absorbing damage from Blake's bullet in Volume 3, that's the same type of shit that Yang... And then in the volume bloody short with Yang, her semblance activates after her aura's broken. It's just... Oh... My only thing is, like, what with Adam, just say they disarm him. They get rid of his fucking blade, and he's like, he can't get to it. And there's like a dust, like there's dust crystals in his body, and he can just outreach his hand and fucking absorb the shit. That's his potential, I think, like his next stage of semblance evolution. I'm scared they're gonna kill the cunt off. I'm really scared, because there's really no redemption. And the one thing I hope they bring up, this is going on longer because it's a bit of a story. My biggest issue with Adam and Blake's story so far is I know he's gone off the rails. I've never liked how they've written his character. They completely fucked up his character. But I was always like, in terms of philosophy backstory, Adam is a byproduct of Blake's weakness, or former weakness, kind of. Her weakness was she always ran away and she never confronted her problems, never talked to the... Like, essentially, if she never talked to her parents about her problems with the White Fang, instead she just ran away from her parents. So it's similar to that. So Adam is a byproduct of Blake, and his problems have always been female, ironically. Blake was the first one, and you can make the argument he was emotionally manipulating Blake, which he was, but at the same time he put his trust in her. He didn't trust her parents anymore. He knew he was being used by Sienna, and he was using Sienna back, so most of his trust went with Blake. And she fucked off. She ran away. Didn't sit down and have a proper conversation with him, try to sort shit out. It was just like, fuck, I'm walking away. That's her thing. So in turn, she kind of created him, and with Blake's absence in his life, it gave rise to Cinder. It's like, I don't think Adam would have been manipulated by Cinder to this degree if Blake had still been there. So all of this could technically be dated back to just Blake running away from Adam in the first place. So I'd actually like to see if during the battle, if any dialogue gets said, or after, obviously Adam's going to get defeated. It's fucking obvious, and it's so bad because I wanted to see him in Atlas, where the dust mines are. I thought if there was any place his character could actually shine or get redemption, it's at the dust mines in Atlas. And it looks like they're gonna just fucking kill him off. Get your Bumblebee moment, fucking kill off Taurus, and I think they're really gonna go for the whole Blake's redeemed, despite the fact that she technically created this monster, and she just gets away with it scot-free. And I'm like, I don't know, that leaves a bit of a bitter taste in my mouth, because it was the same shit they did with Ilya, where despite all of Ilya's crimes with the White Fang, they were just wiped away in an instant for friendship, and I I was never good with that. And to put it in context, because people know I'm a huge Naruto fan, I said I was never happy with how Obito got redeemed, because this was the guy that essentially created all the problems throughout the entire Naruto Shippuden series. It was all blood on Obito's hands, and I was just like, I was never happy with him getting redeemed. And I think they did that with Ilya, despite the fact she done bad things, despite there's probably blood on her hands. She just got forgiven without a trial. All the rest of the White Fang people go to fucking jail, but Ilya gets off. And while Blake's not guilty to that degree, essentially, I get that Yang wants her resolution with Adam as well, based on what happened to her arm. But I feel like there has to be a scene where Blake and Adam really sort this shit out. I mean, we've been waiting for Yang and Blake to sort this shit out, and it just never fucking happened this volume. It's just never happened. And I'm like, did you ever consider that Blake and Adam need to sort their shit out? Like, actual have a decent fucking conversation? All in all, disappointed at Shaw, and then wasn't happy with the mech, but was pretty satisfied by the rest of it. So, you know what? Give it a 7 out of 10. The mech's stupid. Why submarine aircraft? Stupid, but the rest of it, solid freaking episode. So, yeah, I don't shit on everything. I just ask for some decent fucking work to be put in.